It's Sunday. Hello. Sparkling wine Sunday or Spanish wine Sunday, depending on um, how you feel. And waiting on my guest for this. Hello. All right. Through. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Hello.
Hi, my
I
friend.
am so excited to see you. This is so exciting.
It's really good to see you.
Man, it's been forever. Too long.
You can say that again.
Excuse me, everybody, while I fan out.
That
This
doesn't.
is what we do when we get together. It's like,
I want to
ah!
get a drink.
I know. So, welcome everyone. This is the Bruja in the Bronx coming to you from Shakespeare Avenue, Sippin with Shakespeare. And my guest today is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Kelly Jones from Kelly and Jones. And I don't even know how long we've known each other at this point, but she is a scent sommelier. So, we're going to talk sips, scent, Shakespeare, and all that good stuff. So, welcome, Kelly.
Thank you, Shoshi. I am so excited about this. And I know we're usually trekking through New York City, spritzing fragrances and sipping on wine when we're doing this. So it's a little different, but
It
it's
is what it is.
it's good
Yes.
to be here and somehow find a way to sip wine together.
So, tell us a little bit more about you. And I see you have scents behind you, which is very awesome. Yes.
I'm here in the studio. I am located in Kingston, New York, which is just a really wonderful town in upstate New York. A lot of artists here and a lot of inspiration from all the nature around me. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, look at these glasses that I got at a vintage shop here. They have
Wait, is
little
that? Oh, look at
flower on them.
that. That's amazing. I'm a little jealous. I'm a
I
little
haven't
jealous.
used them yet, so I thought this would be the perfect
Oh,
break-in
we're honored. We're
for
honored
it.
to have them.
Your glass is so pretty too.
So it's a Soho House glass. Soho House glass.
Beautiful. Yeah, I am located in Kingston, New York. My brand is called Kelly and Jones, and we create fragrances inspired by the vineyard and beyond. So I started my brand many years ago, about 15 years ago now.
Oh,
I used to work. Well, I won't go into the whole story, but basically, I got in trouble at a wine tasting for wearing
yes.
perfume because you're not supposed, a lot of people don't know this. It's kind of a crazy rule. You're not supposed to wear any fragrance when you're sipping wine because it can interfere with the aromas in the glass. And of course, this really does make sense if you're at a grand tasting or if you're very serious. You know, a lot of people in the restaurant industry, and you don't want to wear a lot of fragrance when you're around food and wine. And it makes sense. And you have to respect that rule big time. But I met this winery in California, and they were pouring this really oaky, buttery vanilla Chardonnay. And I had just created a really beautiful vanilla perfume that I was wearing. And somehow the aromas were starting to blend together. I would take a sip of wine, and then I would have the perfume wafting, and I thought, this is, I'm getting goosebumps. There's something going on here with the tasting because you're smelling, you're tasting, and it was enhancing the bouquet of the wine. And then
Mm.
all of a sudden, the winemaker said, "Who's wearing vanilla?" He said, you're not supposed to wear any perfume when you're in our tasting room. And I respect it, but it's funny because there really was something that happened. I went
Mhm.
back to my studio. I bought all of my favorite wines and I worked in my studio using all my ingredients. And I ended up creating a collection of fragrances to pair with different varietals of wine. Now, when I first launched this thing, I got in mega trouble with all the wine
I
bloggers.
remember. I
I got
remember.
in trouble, and it took me a while. But ever since I stuck with it, I really refined the fragrances. I'm trained in perfumery. I worked for a large fragrance house for several years, and the ingredients I have are incredible. And
They're
now
beautiful.
it's fun. So we've been featured in Food and Wine magazine, Wine Enthusiast. I work with some of the sommeliers from the Ritz Carlton, and now we just
But
drink wine and sip perfume.
But Kelly, like, isn't this really a U.S. thing? Because the French love their perfume. They love their scents. Like, isn't this more of a U.S. issue? Like, people like, don't wear the perfume. Don't compete with my wine scent.
You know what? It really it is more of a rule when you get up into the upper echelons of the sommelier training and the grand tastings and things. But you do have a good point, because in France, you do not leave the house without wearing a spritz of fragrance as
I mean,
part of your wardrobe.
it's like Grey Goose works with the Perfume Institute to make sure their vodka smells delicious. So I'm like, like whatever. So yeah, your fragrances are absolutely stunning because I've smelled them because I've known you for a while. So I want to talk about the one you sent me, which is called Bouquet.
Yes.
Hello, I'm madly in love. And what is your inspiration now? I mean, because I know you've been doing all the wine fragrances, but where did Bouquet come from? This kind of leads into our Shakespeare conversation too.
This does. I'm gonna give it a whiff and spritz and smell
I
it.
know. I'm putting it on, and I'm
Put it
drinking wine.
in. This collection, this is called the Crush collection, and I have three different
Okay.
aromas. I have Bouquet Vin, which means vines in French, and then I have Terroir, which terroir is the
Very
term we use
important.
in wine for with
Very
our.
important.
And this collection is inspired by natural wine, which is all
Ah,
the rage right now, right? This is really an all natural perfume, and I don't filter it. So there's a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the bottle because it's
okay.
unfiltered, like a raw wine.
Right.
And
Nice.
so that's this collection is a really fun way to celebrate raw wines and natural wines. This particularly would pair nicely with a rosé or any kind of fruity raw wine.
Rosé, you say?
There you go. So yes, you can take a whiff and then sip your wine and do a little pairing.
Nice. Okay. Hmm.
The bouquet it starts out with top notes of bergamot, which is a really lovely Italian citrus, just really gorgeous on the skin. There's a boatload of rhubarb in here, which I really love because it's almost kind of cassis is very popular in French perfumes, but rhubarb it's a little bit more, it's still English, right? So I thought
Right.
for our pairing today, rhubarb is a very English ingredient. And then it has orange wine, which doesn't mean oranges or citrus. Orange wine is a natural wine, which is it's got the skin on, so it takes on an
Yes.
orange look to it. And then it has hints of rose petals, and then because the whole story is inspired by the perfumer fell in love with the winemaker,
Yes.
this perfume has Catskills cedar, which you can see the cedar trees from upstate New York. And then the Vin perfume is more of a California West Coast take on
Okay.
it. The perfumer is in Catskills, winemaker is out in California.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but since people are fleeing New York City, the Catskills is the hottest new place where everybody's buying property. Just so you know, be ready. Be ready.
I heard there was a story in the New York Times yesterday or today. Everybody's up here, and
It's beautiful.
it is. It's a really good escape. I got to get you up here.
Yes.
I'm very
Yes.
excited to be here now because I can have really good produce and be eating incredible, yummy fruits and vegetables and staying healthy. But
Yes.
I'm all alone here in the studio today, so yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're creating a way. So, what are you? So, okay, Shakespeare. What are you sipping today? I'll tell you what I'm sipping, which was perfect. Vivaldo Floral Brut. I was like, boom! It was sitting on my wine rack, and I thought, what could be better? It's their Rosé Brut. It's perfect because it's got flowers on the label. I don't think it's a limited edition, so I think you can find it. A nice, affordable Prosecco. And I love
That
it.
is a
It's great.
gorgeous bottle.
It
I love
is,
the
isn't
bottle.
it? Isn't it beautiful? And I'm like, it's perfect for Shakespeare, who loves to talk about flowers and scent. What do you have going
I
on?
agree. Well, I'm very inspired by. I feel like uh, we're going to talk about kind of some of our favorite works of Shakespeare and one of our
Hmm.
As You Like It, which I feel is a very bubbly and a humorous show, so I
Yes.
chose Bubbly. Now, this is...
Oh, Gruyere!
Right?
Oh, yes, yes.
Kind of hard to find, isn't it?
Is it? No. Nope.
Oh,
Not
it's
a,
not.
well, they sell it on Fresh Direct. So anybody in New York City, if you want like a good bubbly Gruyere, they are located in New Mexico. I went to college there. But yeah, French family. French family. But they've got French.
I thought Shoshi knows this, of course.
Yeah,
Mexico.
French roots, but it's a French family, so it's got that French feel to it. I love their stuff. Good job. You found it though in the Catskills.
I found it
Nice.
in Catskills. We have a lot of natural wine stores here, but there is a store here called Myron Wine that I find this at, and I love this because New Mexico for wine. It is really, this is phenomenal. You guys,
Yeah, it's great. It's
so
good,
and it's really
It's great.
affordable. What is it? I think 16 or 17.
Yep, $16.99 at the most.
It's
At the most.
so good. It's New Mexico, and
You're like, it's New Mexico.
you had a time in New Mexico, and I have had some time in Arizona, and there are some beautiful vineyards in Arizona and New Mexico and in the Southwest that are doing incredible wines. I really do think that is going to be one of the next up and coming wine regions. The wine at Elgin, south of Tucson.
Okay.
Fun stuff. Fun.
I have yet to have a wine from Arizona.
Okay.
If anybody represents them, feel free. I am curious. This is a new world for me. Arizona wine. Okay, I'm down. I'm down. All right. So, what's your relationship to Shakespeare? This has been so interesting for me because I'm finding once I said I was doing this sipping series, all these people in the wine world were like, "Oh my God, blah blah blah." Like, I guess because everybody kind of geeks out. What's your relationship to Shakespeare?
Well, first of all, my mom is an English teacher.
Aha!
That's I grew up with it. But to be honest, in high school, I've lived in,
Yes.
I think, 10 different states, but I went to high school in Michigan. And we took a trip to London, Ontario. And in London, Ontario, there is this phenomenal Shakespeare group there, and it's Shakespeare all summer. They have incredible shows, and if you guys want to check out the website, it's stratfordfestival.ca, Canada.
I've heard of this. I've heard of this.
We go for the day as a class and see these shows. Incredibly done. And that's why I first really got familiar with Shakespeare and really had a connection to it. But this Stratford Festival in London, Ontario, and even if, I know we can't travel too much right now, but it is right across the border. And if you can go there, it really is like a little London. It's a really wonderful
okay.
It really has a lot of English-inspired architecture, and this whole Stratford Festival kind of runs the towns. It's a really neat thing to check out.
Nice. So, how did you find As You Like? Excuse me.
I found that. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
I went to Michigan State for my undergraduate degree, and I did a lot of theater there. Believe it or not,
You were in the theater?
I did. I used to be very into theater. Yeah, I did.
You've never told me. This has never come up at brunch.
Oh yeah.
This is new.
I would take voice lessons and all this stuff. And,
oh my God! What?
Yeah.
Okay, you've been holding that, girl. Okay.
Yeah, and then I remember seeing As You Like It. I saw a version at Stratford Festival, and then I saw a version in Michigan, and they switched it up and they turned it into the future, and it was something set in modern day. And I really like As You Like It because I think all of his works are like this, but you can take it from that time period and put it into any other time period. Make it into a Western.
Yeah.
Make it into modern day. It's just that. So I remember seeing it as done as a modern day show, and I really thought that was beautiful. And it makes you laugh in a different way. It's really, really humorous. The humor in it, the dark humor as well.
It's a great. Have you ever been to Shakespeare in the Park? I'm sure you have in New York City. Have you been?
No, never got there.
Okay, next year we're going.
I'm
Next
not
year
a
we're
New
going.
Yorker anymore.
No. I mean, so this is another reason why I started this. It's my favorite thing of the summer because, as you know, I don't like summer. But one of my favorite, as you like it, Liev Schreiber. Once again, I've mentioned him before. Liev, fine as Ray Donovan Schreiber. he he used to do a Shakespearean show once a year because he lives in New York. But he was in the version I took a friend to, and it was so good, just so well done. So yeah, but you have to. We're going next year. I don't care. You got to come up, and we'll figure it out.
We're going. It's the deal.
All right. So Shakespeare has a lot of flower. So let me back up. So I live on Shakespeare Avenue, and I found out historically the reason why it's called Shakespeare Avenue is because a rich couple owned a castle, and they had Shakespearean gardens. And so my street is named after the Shakespearean gardens in the Bronx. They apparently were very wealthy, and they had this huge castle because if you come to my area and you look at the architecture, you can see where there were castles and these beautiful buildings, and that have been, of course, divided up into apartment buildings now, but it's stunning, some of the architecture. So I love that I live here, and I have a whole story how I got here. I had a skull named Shakespeare and everything, so I love living here, but now it's even more now that I'm going back into the theater. So let's get into some quotes. What do you have? Do you have a quote that you love? I have a couple. I know Shakespeare loved roses, violets, all the flowers. All the
Wow,
flowers.
it's like you can smell the page.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And
Right.
my favorite quote is, like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets.
Oh my God, I almost picked that one too.
It is. I feel like that I can smell the page,
Yeah.
and it is that it's just you can feel that smell. You can feel the wind kind of whisk
Yes.
across your nose, and it has a little bit of fresh cut grass and that dirtiness. I love violets because I think they're super sensual and
My favorite. My favorite.
and I think they're great on men.
Oh, ooh,
I
ooh, girl, you getting sexy now. I don't know, like, it's getting sexy. But I love the violet smell in a red wine. That's like one of my favorites. So I had a Malbec, so I was a little torn today. Like, I still have some of it left. I almost brought that, but I'm like, nope, I had this bottle. Love the violets.
That's what I almost did too, because I wanted to get a Ruquet for today because the Ruquet wines to me are the most violent of anything. They're a little harder to find, and they're more expensive. I didn't think.
Yeah. No. You did great with. So what?
I bought a Ruquet by myself.
I mean, if you
Okay.
had you, I was like, you can do it. I know you very well. You got this. So wait, what are some of the notes in that Gruyere Rosé? What are you smelling when you smell that?
To me, there is a lot of white strawberry, a little bit of fresh cut hay, and it does have a petally note. No rose or pettiness like that, but just something a little bit of almost like a daisy, really clean petal note to it. And
nice.
then tons of fruit. I feel like there's maybe a little bit of pomegranate skin in there, and
Yeah.
yeah, really, and then the bubbles just make everything pop.
Yeah, that's so good. So what I found as I even did my own little research is Midsummer Night's Dream has so much floral. Oberon is always talking about the flowers. And one of the quotes, so I have to read this because I cannot remember this because I'm getting old, y'all. Oberon was always talking about flowers, and he wrote, I know a bank where the wild rime blows, where oxlips and the nodding violets grow. It's like, yes. Oberon, always about.
I want to be there on a blanket.
I know, don't we all? I also had The Two Noble Kinsmen, which was from Amelia. She wrote, of all the flowers, methinks a rose is best. It's the very emblem of a mind. So I love roses. That's one of my favorite smells in the whole wide world. I just think Shakespeare was so on when he talked about flowers. Like there's a lot in Hamlet. There's a lot, like there's just lots of floral, which until I haven't really thought about all this, I didn't even notice some of the references because there's so much language. It's hard to see everything. You've got to really be paying attention when you're watching a Shakespearean show because it can be very quick, but lots of flowers and it sets the scene and it's such a big part of what he was talking about.
That's too, and in A Midsummer Night's Dream, there are florals throughout the presentation of it as well. They're wearing them in their hair and their
Yes,
everything.
which makes so much sense because summer solstice is a big thing and it makes so much sense. Do you have another quote or was that it?
Well,
That's fine.
I'm sure a lot of people know, but it's Romeo and Juliet. Of course, that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And I
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. One of my favorites. Oh,
that's a good that's the best rose. Okay, I have a longer one though from King John.
do it. Do it.
This is serious.
Okay.
To gild refined gold, to paint the lily, to throw a perfume on the violet, to smooth the ice or add another hue unto the rainbow, or with taper light to seek the beauteous eye of heaven to garnish, is wasteful and ridiculous excess. So basically to me that's saying go out into a field of violets and just give it a whiff. You don't even need to put any perfume on, just stand out there.
Yeah, which I wish we all could do at this point in time. Shakespeare is like to the point, full of shady, and just like that, but like full of so much scent. I love that he loves the flowers. Like that's my man. And speaking of this floral hand sanitizer, can we talk about this for a minute? So, I think I put it on before I realized it was hand sanitizer because I just kind of went. It was one of those. Oh,
It's
and
hand sanitizer.
but I love. It took me a while. I went, oh, oops. But I still smelled good. But I love it because your hands smell like flowers versus smelling like medicine and other stuff. So how did you decide to create a floral hand sanitizer versus? I mean, I know why you created one, but like, where'd you get the idea for the floral part? It's so good.
I created the hand sanitizers the week that all of this craziness started, and I realized that there was an insane shortage of hand sanitizer for our frontline workers. So I have a 5-gallon drum of perfumer's alcohol, and I just started making hand sanitizer. And then I wanted to lift spirits because everything's tough right now. And I took my blends collection. These are perfume oils that are inspired by the different aromas of wine. I have floral, earth, citrus, and fruit, and oak. And I started out doing earth hand sanitizer, and then I started adding then I started making them in the other versions. So this is a perfume oil that you can just roll right on your skin. And I have this fragrance ready in my lab. So I added it to the hand sanitizer just to give it a little bit of a spritz of uplifting when you put it on. So it's still very efficacious, and it's 70% ethyl alcohol, but it's just when you put it on, you can maybe feel a little bit better about having to wear hand sanitizer all day.
Yeah, totally, because it smells great.
Yeah.
And you have like this perfumed hands versus the other where you're like, oh my God, I smell like I just came from the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, but it's beautiful, and I think it's ingenious because it's like, oh my God, like this is perfect. Like I want to smell good while I'm wearing hand sanitizer and anything else that I have to have. So you go, bravo.
No, we need to do whatever we can right now to feel better and to keep our spirits lifted, and perfume certainly can do that. I mean, even though we're by ourselves a lot and you think people are 6 feet away, and put fragrance on every day, wear it every day right now, because it really will lift your spirits and make you feel just a little bit more normal and pretty. Yeah.
That's why I love this bouquet, because it's one of those things where like you take a shower and then you spritz it on and you just smell so clean. It's got that clean, fresh scent to it, and I love it. It's one of those things, every time you come out of the shower, when you have your robe on, or you just want to chill at home and have a glass of wine, it's perfect. And it doesn't interfere. It complements, as we
Definitely
like.
for pink wines, right? And it does have that rose note in it, which you would love.
Yeah,
And that's the Shakespeare too.
which I do love. What inspires you? How do you create your scents?
I started out with my collection being inspired directly from the various varietals: Pinot Grigio,
Hmm.
Merlot, Chardonnay, Cabernet, and I started just realizing it's not only wine that you can explore. I love mezcal, and so I went to Oaxaca, Mexico, and I worked with a mezcal anthropologist, pulling out all of the different aromas in mezcal, which you may just only think of smoky notes when you think of that spirit, but their mezcal is very similar to wine because it has many, many, many tasting notes, because it has the terroir.
Hmm.
It really is tasting the earth. So next time you sip a mezcal, really get it in your mouth and really give it a good tasting and a good whiff. So I created fragrances that are based on mezcal, and those are really beautiful. They're more gender neutral, really beautiful fragrances. And then, of course, the raw wine is this new Crush collection. I like to have a glass of something and then create a perfume from it. So it's a good excuse.
I love it. So is this natural wine collection, is it limited edition, or, and then you're like, get it while you can, we're moving on, or?
No, this is a part of the full collection, and I also have the terroir fragrance. Also comes in a really beautiful candle, and it's got old vine notes and clay soil, chamomile, mushroom, and vetiver, and it just very fresh, and it makes you feel like you're in the vineyard. It's a really, really nice fragrance. So
Will,
that's
bou-
cool.
will bouquet be coming out in a candle? Asking for me, not.
Okay. It's good to get that request because everyone is candle crazy right now. We're inside. We want to make our environments a little more cozy, and winter's coming. And I would like to create any of these products takes a lot of testing and a lot of
Uh,
rendition. So I am doing some work right now to create some new candles because I know everybody wants that. This would be
okay.
really beautiful in a candle.
I mean, because I
I think I
smelled
should
it.
request it and send it to you.
Well, once I put the bouquet on, I immediately went to your site to get it, and it wasn't there, and I went, okay. And then I saw a terroir, and I was like, all right, that puts me in a. But I also love my fall scent, so I will trust whatever you have coming out in the fall because it's time to start. I have a black tree coming. I have a
I saw
black.
that.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I
I
can't. I have my black tree is going to be arriving next week. I need ornaments, and it's time for me to pull out my scents for the fall. So I'm ready for whatever you're creating. So fall scents. You just let me know, and I'll be there to get some because I'm ready. I'm ready for the fall. Y'all know I hate the summer. Fall, bring it.
always say it the summer, and you get me super excited for the fall as well because of whew,
Witch moves, witchy moves, witchy moves, witchy moves. So if you had to, I have a question. It's like a bonus question. If you had to pair your mescal scent with a Shakespearean show, which show would it be?
Ooh,
Mm.
I think it would have to be Hamlet. Yeah, so
Oh,
dark and smoky.
oh, I
What
like.
do you think?
No, I like. So
Mm-hmm.
before all this mess, I got to see Ruth Negga, who is a fabulous actress, play Hamlet in Brooklyn at St. Anne's Warehouse. Thank you, Soho House, for those tickets because I wouldn't have been able to. She was amazing. So watching, and she's petite. I think she may be 2 inches taller than me. I'm short. So she's this petite woman playing Hamlet, and she kicked ass. To this day, I'm still like, oh my God. It
Oh,
it it was an Irish play because she's from Ireland, so they brought it from Ireland, and it sold out. So I wouldn't have been able to get tickets without Soho House. It was like And we were like right there. And it was kind of theater in the round as much as they could. It was amazing. Hamlet, but watching a woman do it, like was just even more like hot as fuck. Like, so
Oh,
I like that. Yeah, like I like that. That's perfect. That's perfect. I like it. I like a good Hamlet.
I
Yeah.
can't wait till the shows come back. Yeah.
So, what's next for you? Can you tell us, or is it a surprise? That's fine if it is.
It is. Everything has changed and not changed. I had some new things launch. I honestly, just to be open, I mean, I had a new mezcal that was in the works, and I was supposed to be spending the month of March in the Yucatan working on this new mezcal fragrance, but the trip was canceled. And I mean, I could force it through, but I really want to wait until I'm back down there, because to get the finished notes on the fragrance, I
Mm,
really want to be in the environment. I
sure.
really want to capture that humid smell of the jungle hitting the seaside and the saltwater air crossing into the palm leaves. And so that I've decided it breaks my heart, but I have to hold off on that one. And as we mentioned earlier, I really want to just start making more candles, because I know I'm using them, and being at home, we want something
Mhm.
comforting.
That makes so much
Also,
sense.
I am getting, you guys will be the first to hear this. This is the private announcement. I'm launching a new hand sanitizer fragrance next week. It will be the fruit fragrance. So you can pair it with a Malbec or a nice juicy red wine, maybe it's Pinot Noir. And it is just a great end of summer fragrance. It's still really humid and hot out. And I'm going to be going into the blackberry fields and
Ooh,
giving it the
ooh.
final test. So that's coming next week.
Are there blackberry fields where you are? I'm assuming so.
There are,
Because why? Well, of course there are.
there are blackberry fields. It's I think last summer I picked 2 buckets full in session. Peaches are really in season right now too. I've been eating a lot of peaches.
I love a peach. I'm from Texas. I love a peach.
Yeah, right.
We love a peach. I know your dog may not be anywhere around you, but we got to talk about this cute dog that's now on your Instagram,
Oh, I just
Lulu.
brought her. I left her at home because she would have been
Oh, I
barking.
know. She would have
She would
taken
have
over.
been chewing. She would have been chewing the wine glass.
So, what kind of dog is she? So, if you go to Kelly's Instagram, you will see the cutest little dog. And how big is she going to get it, or is that the size? And what kind of dog is she? She's adorable.
Yeah, she's a Cairn Terrier, just like Toto from The Wizard of Oz.
Ah,
And
okay.
I've been wanting one for a really long time. At the beginning of the year, I was lucky enough to find a house here in Kingston that had a cute little fenced-in backyard, perfect for a puppy. And so she joined me earlier this spring, and her name is Lulu, as in
I
Lulu
know.
Pastoral, because that was my first perfume and my favorite.
Ah,
And it actually has a lot of violet in it. So
ah.
Lulu Pastoral is her name.
Are you going to bring this perfume back? Are we going to be able to get this ever? Like,
Well, Lulu is still on the market, but they have totally changed the formula. It's not like it was before. So if you can find a vintage bottle that's in pretty good shape, it's a good
well,
thing.
you need to do something inspired by that. That sounds like a good, whether it's a candle or whatever, something inspired. We take inspiration. She's adorable. How big is she going to get?
She's only going to get to be about 15 pounds.
Okay, perfect. You can put that in a bag
Yeah.
and
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
fit into the picnic basket
yeah,
on the back of the
perfect.
bicycle.
Like Toto, like you said, like Toto.
Yeah, and I'm
She's
hoping.
adorable. She's absolutely, because I know you love your dogs. Yay.
She is
I
a lot of fun to have right now.
Yeah. This has been so wonderful. Thank you. Do you want to leave us with any Shakespearean thoughts or any tips on perfume scents? Tell whatever you want. Bring it.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Well, I would just suggest for everyone to go into their boudoir and grab some bottles of perfume and start pairing your perfume with your wine. It doesn't, I mean, it's great if you want to go to kellyandjones.com. We sell sample flights, and you can, we have free shipping on samples. You can buy a few and test them out. But also you can just use whatever you have on hand and start playing, and there are no rules, and if there are, break them. So pour a glass of wine and put some perfume on and start sniffing and breaking those perfume and wine rules.
I mean, my people are all about breaking rules. And if you don't feel like going to a website and you're on Instagram, she's got her products. Like, you can get her products there too, which I love. I was like, you go, girl, do it. Do it. Like, her perfumes, her wine perfumes are so delicious. They're very sexy. So if you're trying to seduce, get it in. I mean, who isn't? I mean, this COVID life and COVID love, either you are breaking up with somebody or trying to find somebody new. So
Oh, so true.
perfumes are good. I actually had a crazy day today. It's like my typical New York life. I got home at 4:30, which I wasn't expecting, because today is International Rum Day. And I was at a birthday party, and I got home, and I'm like, oh my God, we were talking about sugar daddies the whole time.
Do you have any good advice for me?
No, well, you at least are in the Catskills. You may be able to find one quicker than some of us because they all have run from the city. So we're all like,
the hell came up here?
right, sugardaddy.com must be like blowing up because we're all like, okay. Oh, so thank you so much, Kelly. This has been awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the flesh soon. One day, somehow, we'll have to make it happen.
Remember our trip to the Catskills together?
Yes.
We had so much fun on that trip. What
A ball.
Yeah.
A ball. And I need to come back there. Like, I love the Catskills. It's so great. So we went to the Catskills together. I got invited for a press trip, and Kelly got this hot ass car for us to be in. And we got to go to some really cool places. It was really a good time. And I'm in love with that area. So I don't know why I don't spend more time. I guess because I'm busy running around the city. But now I'm not. Now I'm not.
Well, our paths will cross soon. Thank you for having me. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. And until next time, peace, love, and cheers. Bye.
Bye.